In the previous video, I walked you through the concept of layouts and how they help maintain a consistent look and feel throughout the pages of your site. But creating layouts is useless unless your views actually use them. So in this video, I'll discuss how to put your layouts into action by referencing them from views in your site. There are two basic steps involved in referencing a layout from a view. First, you'll need to tell ASP.NET MVC which view you'd like to reference by assigning the relative path of the layout to the layout property in your view. For example, in order to reference the layout named _layout that we saw in the previous video, we would execute the following code somewhere in our view, usually in a code block at the very beginning. You may be wondering at this point why the layout has clearly been rendering even though we've never specified a layout like this in any of the views we've seen. This is because ASP.NET MVC provides a nice feature that lets you apply the same layout to many views at once. It does this in the form of a special file named _viewstart.cshtml that you can place in any folder that contains views somewhere in its path. As its name implies, ASP.NET MVC executes this file at runtime prior to executing each view. As such, it's a great place to put common code that should execute for every view, such as setting the view's default layout. Now we can jump back to our example view, and in order to specify the content that should be rendered as the body of the view, simply write the markup that you want to display. Nothing more is needed. All of the markup that you write in your view will get rendered in the layout's renderBody method call. All of the markup in your view, that is, except for the regions that you define as sections. Recall in the previous video that the layout we showed made several calls to the renderSection helper method in order to render sections of the page that were separate from the main content. In order to specify content to be rendered inside of these renderSection calls, use the section keyword to wrap the markup in your views that you wish to display in those sections. For example, here's how we would render content in the featured section of the main layout. Here you can see the content that is rendered into the featured section. And if we view the page's source, we can scroll down to the bottom and see the comment that we rendered into the scripts section at the bottom of the page. And with that, we're done. That's all there really is to creating content views that reference a layout. In the next video, I'll show a few more advanced ways that you can leverage ASP.NET MVC's layout functionality.